Hi everybody, good to see you out here in Surrey today. We're at the Finishing Trades School where they teach apprentices in painting and drywalling and framing with metal studs and all kinds of neat stuff. It was great to be here. I want to thank Mark and Dan and the whole team here for taking us through. Before I begin, I really want to just reflect on how challenging and awful things must be right now in Bella Coola. The terrible grizzly bear attack on some kids and teachers that were just out on a trail having a nice afternoon. I want to thank the teachers for their heroism, their early accounts of their willingness to confront this vicious animal. And I want to send my heart out to the parents and the kids and the loved ones of everyone who's been injured, who's in hospital right now, and I hope for their quick recovery. The conservation officers, I'm assured, are working hard to identify and find the bear. And I know for all of us in the province, just a terrible story and a terrible outcome, and we wish a quick recovery and the best for everyone who was injured. With that, I'm happy to take a few questions from you about the goings-on in the province, beautiful province of British Columbia.
Should the province be looking at its approach to grizzly bear management in the wake of this event? Several events in the province
Well, I think it's a bit premature to understand what happened here. The conservation officers are on the scene and will provide updates. Certainly, anytime there is a bear attack, the Conservation Service provides advice to government about anything we can do to prevent similar incidents in the future, and we'll certainly be listening to that advice carefully. Yeah, I've reached out to Ottawa to express that business in British Columbia should be discussed with British Columbia at the table. That message was delivered by me unequivocally to senior ministers within the government, and I'm assured was passed on to the Prime Minister. My sincere hope is that Ottawa recognizes both the jurisdiction of British Columbia and also the common sense that you might want to check with the locals if you're discussing policy in their province.
Staying on the pipeline, can you just clarify what you meant by expanding the Trans Mountain capacity?
Sure. The existing publicly owned pipeline that was built to service the province of Alberta over the objections of British Columbia cost about $30 billion to build, taxpayer dollars, is not at full capacity. In addition, the capacity of that pipeline can be expanded through additional compressor stations, as well as through, I understand, putting additives into the pipe to add hundreds of thousands of additional barrels of capacity if there's demand for it. We have been quite frank with Alberta and with the federal government that although we never supported the pipeline and we're not enthusiastic about it, we're good team players on Team Canada, and we're willing to do what we can to support an expansion project if it's needed. We ask other provinces to step up and help us out, and we understand that need too. But this work is made more difficult when we have other provinces, specifically Saskatchewan and Alberta, coming in trying to tell British Columbia how to run our province, and most specifically to attack an oil tanker ban off our coast that is the foundation for consent and support for tens of thousands of jobs and billions of dollars of investment in the province of British Columbia, when there isn't even a project to justify removing the oil tanker ban. So we'll continue to have those conversations with those other provinces and with the federal government. But just to be clear, we are and have been engaging with Alberta on their concerns about being able to access global markets. It's certainly their priority. We're happy to understand that and to work with them. But I'm a bit challenged by the approach they're taking to our province right now. Sorry, which crisis? Oh, the extortion crisis? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks for asking. I started the day meeting with business owners here in Surrey and with the Deputy Chief of the Surrey Police to hear from them about what's happening here in Surrey, and so that they could hear directly from police about the actions that are being taken. This is a major priority for the province of British Columbia right now. These extortion threats really cut at people's feelings of safety at home in the community, the ability to do business. I heard from the business owners that it is having a direct impact on the willingness of people to make donations and be public about making those donations, about being willing to buy a car that might look more expensive because it might draw attention to them. I heard a business owner say he was reluctant to put Christmas lights out because he didn't want to draw attention to himself. You know, these kinds of things are the complete opposite of what my expectation is and the expectation of all British Columbians in terms of people being able to feel safe and conduct their business in the province. We did hear from the Deputy Chief of the Surrey Police, who feels that good progress is being made, that their team is working closely with the task force, which now includes more than 40 police officers. The RCMP has surged additional resources into Surrey to deal with this. I also asked specifically the Deputy Chief whether he felt there was an issue related to the transition of the police to the Surrey Police Service from the RCMP. He addressed that. He said there have never been more police in Surrey than there are right now. We've got 300 RCMP officers in addition to about 600 or 700, can't recall the exact number that he used, of the Surrey Police Service. This overlap between the two forces means that there is a record number of police on the ground in Surrey, even before this recent surge by the RCMP. So the resources are there. I've made sure that the provincial government has committed those resources will be there. In addition, we will be working closely with the federal government to ensure that that they are aware of and are using all the tools that they have at the table. And I'm very grateful that we have Canadian Border Services agents in significant numbers that are assisting with this work, given the immigration status of some of the individuals alleged to be involved here.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks very much, guys. See you later. Thank you.